Morning, everyone. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Northampton today, Friday, and I've decided to show you what I received in the post yesterday while I was at work. That was Happy Post, but I wasn't here to receive it. So I started doing a video in the evening, but the light was a little bit down or dim, and I thought, you know what, I'll leave it and I'll do it in the morning. So what first thing I bought was this plaque. It's a plate so that I can use the um, what do we call them? The waste. And it was these are all unbranded, but I've already tried it and it worked perfectly well. I've got thank you. So thank you is a plate and a die. So you use the plate to foil, and then after you foil it, you cut it. And I love thank yous because I do a lot of um, little cards. If I make a small card, I tend to put a thank you on it because I keep them in my handbag, as I've said many a times before. Then I received another plate here. It's all like roses. You see, I'm dying to try this one out. I think it will look really, really um, pretty, and it gives you a nice background. Then I had a couple of modern ones. Now there was a set of three, but one of them I didn't like, so I decided to just go for these two. That's a modern design. And I think whether you use it by foil or whether you foil it and then you color them in that differently, I think they would be absolutely gorgeous. And here's another one. Look at that. And I thought that looks nice as well. So I thought I'll have a go at it. Now, this one is just like the tartan lines, I call them. And I think if you have a piece of material, even if it's got design, and you just put those gold lines on them, you transform that piece of paper. So I'm going to have a go at playing with that. Then I also bought, now these were bought on different days, but they arrived all together. That is a beautiful flower. And again, I can imagine coloring them in with different shades. And I think it would absolutely look gorgeous. I will have a play with this. And that's another one, though. It's another flower. I think it will look gorgeous. You get the lines and then you color the petals in. Then I had one which was a frame, to create a frame. Now, I already am thinking if I create the size on one of my digital programs, I can do an image that fits in there, even if it's slightly bigger. And then I'll place that exactly on top. You foil it, and you'll end up with a nice foiled topper. And then with that one, there were 3-4 sentiments. And they said, because I started taking them off, they were all stuck together yesterday. Hello? Thinking of you. Wit, sympathy, and thank you. Thank you, I think, would be the one I would use the most. But this thank you hasn't got the cut line. So that means if I did something like, for instance, that one there, look how beautiful that turned out. I'll then place the thank you exactly where I wanted and foil the thank you there. Okay, and then of course I'll cut it straight because it wasn't made straight. Now, here is another thank you that I got, because I do use a lot of thank yous. I do use them for small cards that I use for my demos. Excuse me, everyone. But it's another Nice little thank you. I haven't even taken it out yet. I found, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to try them. I'm not saying they are any good because I haven't tried them yet, but I found a plate. It has a lot of different sentiments, as you can see, and then it has the die. So after you foil them all, you can place the die and you can cut them. Okay, and I think that is going to work beautifully together. I'll give it a good guess or a good go. I found this plate and it says, "Have a wonderful day." That's a very nice plate again that you can foil and then absolutely color in if you like. And here we've got some sentiments. Let's see what they say. Just a note. Um, let's see. You make me smile and sending hugs. So they are quite nice little sentiments. And last but not least, I've got another plate. I have not yet decided, but I'll probably have to break them apart. I will break them apart because you can't have them like that. So to break them apart, it should be quite easy, like so. You've got just a note. We have I think that says so, but I'm not sure what that says. Until I actually foil it, I don't know. That says hello, and that says so because look at the O there, and look at the O there. So it's the font, so that would be so. So nice, so whatever. That says happy. You can have so you. Thank you, this says. This says thank you, and it's one. So that's another so happy. Just a note and hello. So they are the ones that you get on that one. Okay. Now these will all go on a magnetic sheet, and then I'll put them in a box I've got with all the plates that go with my foiling machines. And this is the last piece of plate I got, which is the one I was trying last night making that one. So that's the plate for it. I think I needed my paper a little bit bigger. So that is the reason. Let's have a look at this one. This would be a lot better. And if I cut the pieces slightly bigger, I think it would be even better because then I cut them and trim them to size. But I can also do that. And you know what? If I take a piece of tape and tape it there, open it up, put the foil in, when I bring it down, it will be perfect. So we'll have a little play shortly. Let me show you now for the next thing. I'm going to pause it for a second and bring you in how you can cut your foils. Okay? Right. So to resume, I brought out some of my branded foils. I have a whole set of 18, I think there is, or 16. Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 4, 16. And then I've got an extra 5. So these are beautiful foils. I tried one and the result was absolutely gorgeous. So what I did, I just opened 4 because they are new. I just opened 4 and I will try them as well to see what I can get out of them. Then I'm going to use some unbranded foil. This is foil that I bought, some branded, and I've got a couple of different ones. Oh, I've got a few. I've got a load, actually, not a few. But there's another one. I can use that for testing out. So what I'm going to do, and then I've got some normal plain colored ones. I've got a few different foils I would be happy to give a go to. Let's have a look. I think I've got enough up here for now. Now, this is a Spellbinders original, so this is a branded item. I bought it from Spellbinders. You set up where you want to cut. So I just had a quick look and I thought, if I'm going to do, let's say, one of these plates, let's find one of the few. Let's see how that would sit on there. Oh, I might try that one. See how that looks. Okay, so if I'm going to use a plate, and I've got loads to try, I can't decide which one I want to try first. Let's try this one. What I would do is this. I'll place it that way when I'm using these foils. When I'm using my bigger foils, I place it the other way. Because look, that will cover the whole of my plate. Whereas these ones, let's find the light color ones. These ones, they don't. They're a little bit shy of the die. So I'm going to have to cut it that way. It will be the width. Look, it will work the width. So what I do is place that on the edge there. And then I'll mark where the edge comes here. So I could mark it like so. Let me do it properly. So I'm going to cut a long line this one. Or I could go in a little, cut there, make sure it's a little bit longer than what I want. Okay? And I'm going to cut it that way. The other way is, if it's more easy for your hand, is just place it there, like so. Place your die to make sure it's all being covered there. So you know, if you cut along that line, look, or along the roughly the 30. So if I cut somewhere here, it's going to be good enough. So then what I do, place that on, like so. And with this, with the Spellbinder thing, you also get two of these, one for paper and one for foil. If I place that in between and just go down there, that's nicely cut it straight for me. So I start using it, to be honest, and then after a little while I turn to my scissors and I start cutting with my brand new scissors for the foil, which cuts as easily. But if you have dexterity problems, if you do have problems cutting straight or anything like that, then there is help out there because spellbinders have invented this little bit of kit. Now I'm going to cut these and I'm going to put them on the side nicely there, ready for when I'm going to be cutting or using my machine. In the meantime, I've plugged my machine already and I'm going to switch it on. So it will start to warm up. Again, I know if I do it something like so, something like so, it should cover the whole of my plate, which it does. I mean, I'm not going to go, oh, you know what, I'm going to cut it exactly. I don't need to. I'm just going to go like so. And there you are. I've got another piece cut. Oh, look how beautiful that one is. I can't wait to test it out. So that's another bit. Now, these foils, don't be deceived because some other foils that I have, they got really big packaging. And when you look at them, and I think these were by, now I'm not affiliated to anyone. These I think were by Crafters Companion. They look really big in the box. These have 2 meters of foil and a really big tube. 2 meters. You see these and think, oh, they're expensive. But if you look at this, although it seems to be so much smaller, these have 5 meters of foil. So don't be deceived by the size you see, because it might look bigger, but it's got more than half less. So when they are the same price, I know which one I would like to get. Hold on. As I say, I'm not affiliated with anyone, so I'm just giving my own opinion and what I thought about it. When I bought this, thinking it was quite a big roll of foil, and found 2 meters on it, it's my fault because it said on the box 2 meters. So they nearly passed them by, and then I looked and I saw 5 meters, and I thought, ooh, okay. So that's another thing to watch out for when you're buying these things, all right? How many meters am I going to get? Now, this is a dark one. I don't usually use brownie dark ones, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to give them a go and see what they look like. Because if I don't try them, I don't know, and then you don't know either. And a lot of you, especially my ladies, I call them, they come to lessons with me. I know you bought all these things, and they're all on that shelf somewhere. So I'm getting you to get them out. That's always been my mission. Get you to get out what you buy. There you go. That's another piece I'm going to be using. Now I've got one more piece to cut from the spellbind, from the Go Press and foil. This is another beautiful one. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? The places there, there. Oh, I've got to cut it somewhere here. So I think they will be okay. Now these I'm going to put away because I need space on my desktop. I'm not a very messy crafter. I like to have things put back in place wherever possible because I like to start afresh with a clean desk every morning. It will not be like that by the end of the day, but at least it's not like from yesterday and the day before, because it would be absolutely a nightmare. Always keep on the desk what it is I'm using. Now, this is going to start warming up and get ready. I'm going to cut some of this. Now, that's why I said I then get rid of this. Because I would use and would cut in a different way. Let me just put it away as well. Where the box where it's got to go. And here, what I tend to do is this. I bought some scissors that I am on purpose leaving just for my foils. I've got loads of scissors, but I've just bought some more. And the way I cut it is just go like so, keep going down straight, and pull my foil up, and it will cut it straight as well. Look at that. It's nothing different to what I've cut with the machine. I'm going to cut a couple of pieces ready for foiling. And my pussycat wants something. She might want some more food, or she wants some fuss in the morning. Everyone, when I'm sitting here, she comes on and she will be going like, I'll put it just up. She'll be going, I went a little bit funny there, and she wants me to pick her up. And of course, when I'm doing a video, I can't do that. So she'll be moaning, like, you're not taking any notice of me today. So she go and grumpily moan at all my other members of the family. So that's all the foil done. My machine is getting warm while I tidy a little bit up and get the next stage ready. I'm going to jump to the next part for you. Right, so I'm going to start off with this metal die. It does like a tartan type of lines, I call them. Now, I'm going to try it on black. I've got a shiny piece of black in my scrap papers. If I place it like so, and get a little bit of a... Now, I got hot tape. I bought it so that it won't leave much residue on, or so I hope anyway. Let's see if I can open the bag. It's all zipped in. Came off, I can't open it. I've locked it. That thing came off and it's not opening it. And if it won't open, it won't be a problem because I'll just think that part was meant to stay in the middle and it's not. That came off. So, not to worry. Just do that. And we'll quickly get it open. There you go. I'm going to take one of these tapes. I'm going to keep it out because I think it will be useful for what I want to do. That's not normal tape, it's hot tape. Hot, so that means if you put it anywhere near heat, it should not leave any tape residue. I'm going to cut a tiny bit. Don't need much. Just a tiny bit. I'm going to place it from the plate, like so. I'm going to place it to the paper, just like so. Okay, so now I can do that. I'll place my foil, the nice side kissing the nice die, like so. And I'm going to come down. Now that one, you can put it underneath to make sure it's gone over the die into the, like that. Ah. I know that's going to be all over my paper. Don't know whether the paper is good for foiling. That's another matter, but I'm going to place this. This was all warm, but because I left it to go and get everything sorted, it has switched itself off. So I'm going to place it here. Now what I did, I put tape on mine because I want my plates to be stuck and don't move when I take them out to pass them through my Big Shot. I also brought, while we are waiting for that to warm up, I also brought some old photo paper I had. That's very nice to foil onto. And I brought out some pieces of scrap papers that I've got, just so that, like for instance, with that one, I'll try to use the same die and foil it with lines, because I think these things, when you do them with foil, a piece of scrap paper like that is lifted up, and then you can make a little card, maybe saying thank you or happy birthday. It could be a men's card, but like that, it's very plain. If you foil it, it becomes something different. So that's what I'm trying to see if and how these dies work. I don't know yet. And as I say, every time you use dies or hot plates, what you've got to think about is the foil you're using. Now, if you know that the foil works because you've used it in the past and this works perfectly well, the next thing you need to think about is the paper you're using. Some papers foil nicely, others don't. I know Adorable, Scoreable by Hunky Dory, and again, I'm not affiliated to them. Whenever I tried foiling their Adorable, Scoreable, I had perfect results. Okay, some super smooth paper has perfect results. Then I've got other papers that I bought which are unbranded, so I can't tell you what they are. I know all I know is they're 300 GSM, and I find that some foils do perfectly well on that paper, but other foils don't. So it could be the foil and the paper together that makes a good result. Now this has switched on, so I'm going to do the 1 minute wait because that's how spellbinders work. The red line comes on to show you that the machine is on. The green line tells you you're ready to start. And then with the stuff on, you put it 1 minute, you press the button, and instead of counting 60 seconds yourself, it will count it up for you. Now, it's no different using the Spellbinders Glimmer machine to using the Go Press Foil machine. They work absolutely in the same manner. So I've got them both. They both have their own good thing. So for instance, the Glimmer machine, I like it. It seems to get hotter quicker the first time round. But then once you hit the Go Press Foil and you keep putting it straight in, it doesn't make any difference because once it's hot, it will carry on working quickly. So that's the initial start. The other thing is this one I have to put the Go Press Foil. That one, it's got hinges on. So they're the two different things that I found. Apart from that, don't mind which one I use. Now I'm going to go through my Big Shot, and this is going quite nicely through. Now again, when I use the Go Press Foil, I need to put shims on. When I use the Spellbinders one, it doesn't seem to need any. Now I will know once I start. I've been using the Go Press Foil a while, so and I'm not using the paper. And look what happens when I don't use the paper there. That it doesn't matter because I'll wash it later. Oh, that seems to have done it. Now the only thing is, having stuck it with tape, I now have the issue that I need to get the tape off. Okay, I'm going to take the tape off. And as you can see, there's no markings, nothing at all. It doesn't leave any glue or anything like that. I'll get this ready for another one in a minute, but I want to see how it turned out. Now, usually, I leave it just a couple of minutes there. I'm going to place that one. I'm going to put some foil again. Let's try it with some let's try it with some silver foil this time. I'm going to put a bit of foil there. I'm going to put my paper. I don't know how this paper would work. If I don't try it, I will never know. And if it goes wrong, you know what I always say to my ladies? Well, if it goes wrong, don't panic because it's only a piece of paper. I'm going to place it over there. I'm going to close it. I'm going to put it in. I should have put it in earlier because then it would have only been the 1 minute. But it doesn't matter because I've got my coffee to drink and also I've got this to reveal and see what happens there. Now, look, I've got a little bit of overfoiling. I can see that. I've got a little bit of overfoiling there. But can you see how that turned out? Now, yes, tiny bit of overfoiling there and here on the side. So that could be my machine, how it passed this. I'm going to put it to the side because I can afterwards foil these. It will then have a little bit of underfoiling because obviously it's the opposite. But you know what? When I make a thank you card, for instance, like, or thank you sentiment, for instance, like this one, and I place it on there, it's not going to make, nobody's going to say, oh, you know what, Susan, you had some overfoiling, underfoiling, whatever foiling it is. So I can do it best way I can like that, and I can still make a little card that can go to a gentleman. Now, another thing, I've just seen something in here. Let's have a look. I'll be with you in a second. Got a happy birthday there. If I cut it properly, that could go on there. This would be a happy birthday. So there are things you can do to still use that. And I could even cut it there, cut it there, cut it in pieces and stick it on pieces. And when I come to make a card, you'll see what I'll end up doing with that. The only thing I had there is that little bit of overfoiling. Some of it, if I use one of those rubbers, I might be able to actually get it off. So later on, I'll have a look and see what I can do with it. Okay, but I like the die and I will use it again. I'm going to pass it through again. Now, this paper is different and the paper is a lot thinner. So maybe when I pass it through, I'll get underfoiling this time. So you'll see, regardless to what I tell you, you have to try it for yourself. You have to be ready to be a bit patient. Now, what I did as well, I haven't started using it because I'm not, when I intend to use this when, I intend to use this when I start using papers that I've got a lot of. So for instance, if I use these papers and I've got a lot of them, I will start putting a little note saying foil and the name of the foil, or stick a bit of foil there, paper, photo paper, worked well, or was under foil or over foil. So I'm going to start building a library. So when I am doing a real project, because these are just demos, this is just testing, having fun. But if I'm doing a project or somebody ordered a card or something, I wouldn't want to have some good paper, and just because I haven't got the patience to go and test, I'd ruin the paper, and then I might end up with not enough paper to go around. So what I think of that is the best way is to have a play, mark what the item is, how it's working, so that when you eventually come to use it on a proper project, you'll find that it has worked absolutely fine. I'm ready to go with my foiling. So I'm going to put it through. In here, I don't need a shim. If it was the hot press and foil, I would need a shim. I would need a few shims actually, but it seems to be that with this one, I do not actually need it. It works perfect. Now, I'm going to put it back in, and I'm going to press it back in because I'm going to do more. I'm going to take this off. Let me do it this way. I know that's only because I've got that tape on, you know. If I didn't do the tape, I wouldn't have this problem. But you know what? If it means it stays in place, why ever not? Why ever not? For the next one, I won't do a hinge. I'll just leave it, put the paper on and see what happens. But if you want it a bit straight, you need to put a bit of tape onto it. And this tape, look, you can use it over and over again. It's very good and it does not leave any residue. So that's quite good. I don't know how this works. And look at that. It's not too shabby. It's not too bad. Wow. Look at that. So now what was a piece of insignificant piece of paper? It's not even big thick card. What would have been probably ready to be thrown away has become a lovely little piece that I can use on a card. I've only got a tiny bit of underfoiling there, but I'm sure that when I make a card with it, I can hide that. But down below here, look, it is absolutely gorgeous. So, thinking about it, you say, oh, I've got a little bit of underfoiling there. I'm putting it on a card. It will be a smaller card than this, but it will be a little bit bigger than that. You can have something like that. And then, if you had, let's say, thanks, you can have a thanks down here, look, like that. And there is nothing showing that there's anything wrong with that piece of paper. So I'm going to leave it there. Later on, I'll do a video showing, I'll do one video using waste. So it will be completely about using these waste pieces, which I'm putting aside at the moment. And I'll do another video saying the pieces I created when I was doing these demos, what am I going to do with them? Okay, so I will show you what I'll do with them creating cards. I've done a video like that. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It will be on my channel. And with them, we did a lot of different little cards. I've still got some of them here. And they were these. I'll just show you. So we had that one. If you see, I just cut out the bit I didn't want, covered with, there was a little bit of underfoiling. I covered it with the flowers. Thanks made a lovely little DL card. There's another one that was cut straight, few flowers, bit of embossing, made another card, and so on, so forth. You can see, and that's what I intend to be doing with these pieces. I'm going to try this one now. This is another plate. This is a modern plate. I don't usually go for these kind of plates, I have to admit, but you know what? There's always a first. So I'm going to take the foil plate and I'm going to place it on here. Now there are lines on there, so you can have an idea of where your foil is. I'm going to try it with one of my HP photo papers. I'm going to try that one. So that's going to go roughly on there. And I'm going to do a piece of fancy paper. I'm going to place my paper. Can you see? Yeah, I'm going to place my paper on top of there. Now that will show me where the plate is. And I can feel it. I'm going to go somewhere there. Like so. Something like that. I'm going to put a piece of A5, really 80 grams paper on, because it is dirtying my plate. And the less I have to clean, the better it is. I'm going to press the button, because I've put it in advance. When I was ready to put the plate on, I just press the 1 minute and I'll be done. We'll try all sorts of things. I'm dying to try these. I'm dying to try these ones. I think they're going to be gorgeous. And I'm trying to try this one. I think this will be gorgeous as well. So let's have a look. Right, let's find the paper I'm going to try it with. These are all a bit small for my liking, for what I want to do. I might find a little bit bigger pieces of... Hello, pussycat, how are you? I'm recording. Come on, Atla. Hey, Atla. What is it you want? Why are you moaning, eh? You had food? Yeah, you want some fuss? I can't fuss you, I'm recording. And I've got to carry on. There goes, that's done while I was talking to my little pussycat. Bless her, she was a rescue cat, and she's very loving, but her previous owners wanted to put her down, and I think it's the worst thing somebody could do after you have had a cat for like 6, 7 years, because she came old to us. She came at the age of 9, but she has to stay in a foster home for about a year. Nobody wanted her because she's old. Now we already had her for 2 years. So there you go. I'm gonna take my design off, and we're gonna see. Now, if I get any underfoiling or any blemishes, it's because my foil was slightly damaged. But we'll see what happens here. And look at that. Now, yes, I've got a little bit of overfoiling, but you know what? It's crafting. Some people will tell you, oh no, that can't do. Now, I will tell you this. If I was doing this and I'm doing it on a project that I'm selling, I would say, oh no, I can't use that. That's got some blemishes on it. But what I am using these ones for demo, apart from testing out papers and designs and foil, as I say, I will put tanks on them. They will go to someone who helps me, maybe on in a lift, or who helps me somewhere. So something like that could go there on a card, make thanks, put thanks at the bottom or something like that. And you know what? They're people I don't know. So when you give it to them, they're not expecting it. And I think the pleasure that they get out of it, they're not going to say, oh, but when you did it, you know what, Susan? You had a little bit of overfoiling there. They're not going to do that. They're not going to say that. So as far as I'm concerned, if it's for the purpose I will use these for, they were perfect for me. Okay? Some people will tell you, oh no, I can't have that. That's fine. But it depends on what you personally are going to be doing with that item, that method. I'm going to take that off. So I've seen how it works. And I'm going to try this time these words. Now, I don't know how these are going to work, but I'm going to foil them. And I'm going to foil them. Let's get rid of this bit. These I tend to get rid of. Otherwise, you get them on the edge, and you don't always want that. I'm going to place that there. This time, I had a dark bit. I've never used foil like this dark one, which looks like transparent as well. I don't know. I've never tried this. So I'm going to try it with the words bit. I might go wrong, but we'll soon find out. And then I'm going to put a piece of photo paper on them, like so. I'm going to close it up and hope I caught them all on. We'll soon find out. And what I will do with those ones, because I think that's where the effect will really come out, if they foil nicely, if not, I'll do another one. But if they foil nicely, I then will cut them to see whether it works. I once bought some branded dies, and when I went to cut them, I found that the die was the opposite to what it should have been, and I had to send them back. I don't know. I think this will work, but let's have a go in a minute. But as I say, these are unbranded, so who knows what happens. Some people tell you don't buy unbranded because unbranded, uh, they're cheaper quality, they're not good. But you know what? When I tried them, I bought branded. I've got branded stuff, but when I look at the branded and I look at the unbranded, I hardly can tell which one was which, unless they've got a marking on them. So After some time passes, I hardly know which one it is. So all these people that tell you do not buy unbranded dyes, it could be because they are affiliated with brands. The problem is they get free testing material. We have to buy them expensive to pay for theirs. I'm not saying I'm not saying I wouldn't use branded. I have loads of branded stuff. If I show you how many, for instance, stuttered lace dyes I have, at one point I probably had more than every I had every single one that they brought out. If you look at how many spellbinders, when spellbinders first started, I bought every single dye. That's when I had a problem, and here in England that they didn't want to change it for me. I wrote to Spellbinders America, and I said, "Look, this is how many I've got of yours. This is broken. It's not right, and I need some help." And they did send me another one because they knew how much I bought from them. I really had loads. And to be fair and honest, I only started buying unbranded ones when life became a little bit more expensive. I can't afford one for like £20, £30, whatever they cost. I don't know how much they cost when I can buy it cheaper elsewhere. I'm not mentioning where, because as I say, I'm not affiliated to anyone. So some were bought here in England, some were bought abroad. But it's just I'm showing you my opinion, what I've got, and how I use them. So if you prefer branded, by all means, and if you can afford to buy branded, why not? It's the best you can do because you got the right product. But for me, at the moment, I had to stop buying branded. I had to go unbranded. There's a lot of people like me out there, and there are a lot who wouldn't touch them by a barge pole. So I'm gonna put it through, and I'm gonna pass it through slowly. I don't know how they're gonna turn out. Firstly, the text is always a problem, especially when they're small. I've got the foil that I've never used, and I don't know how they're going to turn out, but I'm willing to see. I'm going to pick that up. It looks like something has gone through, but I don't know how it's going to work. So I'm going to leave it for a second, and I'm going to do another set, because you know what? Let's see if this fits on top. That's big enough. Let's get a bit of colorful ones. To try some colorful ones and see what we can get. Give me a second, everyone. I am having a look for some nice. Oh, let's try this one. I haven't tried the vice. Let's try that one. I had some purple, and I can't see where it went. Had some lovely purple I'd love to use. I love purple. Let's try a gold one. And again, what does this say? Is there anything messages? No. So I don't know whether when I see these colors, I don't know whether they work. Some of them don't work well with hot foil. So let's try it because I am trying things out. Let's see if I can get that to work with what I'm trying to use here. If it doesn't, it's only a piece of card that will go to waste. Let's put it there, close it there. While that's doing, I'm going to try to see what happened with this one. Not sure because I've not used this before. Well, some over foiled, some underfoil. So I've got a little bit of a different thing staying there. But what I'm going to do is now test this one. If I place that and that hello with an E, I'm not quite keen on. I'm not quite keen on how they looked. But you know what? I'm going to give it a try cutting it because I want to know how it will roughly look. I'm doing another one. I'm doing it in gold. But I'm just going to put a piece of tape so it holds my die in place. I'm going to put it on my die cutting plate. If I find where I've placed them, there they are. I'm just going to cut them to see how they look. Don't know yet. I can't even read some of them, so let's have a look and see. Not that keen on these, I don't think. But we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe when I do them in gold, they look better or foil better. I don't know yet. I'm going to try them again. It might be something I say, well, if you're going to buy any, I know, especially my ladies, once I buy something and say, look what I bought, they all want to know where did I get them, and they'll all want to know which ones I got, so they get them as well. So it's a little bit like, ooh, I'm trying it for them. So then I say, oh yes, get these or don't get those. So they wait for me to find out whether it's worth getting or not. So I'll soon be telling them. Now, this says hugs, and it looks quite good. So that's not an E, that's the foil, that's the font actually. They all have that little bit. Now, let's see this one. You are my favorite. Again, I've got a little bit of overfoiling. So maybe when I do it in the other font, in the other one, it will look better. Thank you. That's the font. That E at the end or at the beginning, it's the font. It's not how it's written. It's not a mistake. Make made with love. Have a nice day. That's quite a nice one. You are the best, but that is slightly under foil. Let's have a look. Love. They're like swirls. They're not E's. They're like the ending swirls. If you don't like them, you can just cut that off and you get the hello. I'm sure you can. Miss you. Love you. And with love. So they are the ones. Let's see what happens when I do these ones now. Can't wait to see what the gold one looks like. They might be overfoiled or underfoiled. It could be the paper, it could be the foil, might be the dies. So let's have a look and see whether we can find out if I can get them to work perfectly. Now that foil, I told you, I don't know whether that foil works. So if it doesn't, we know. I've had problems with some of my gold foil, the big roll, and I haven't marked which one has the problem. So that is my fault when I then don't know which one it should be. I'm going to do another one of these, and I'm going to use a different type of font, of foil. I'm going to cut a bit of this. So while we're waiting to see if I get them to work perfect, I'm also going to put some more on the go. That's on there. I'm going to get a piece of, this time I'm not doing photo paper. I want to try if I use a piece of A5 normal 300 GSM card, whether I get a different result. I'm going to cut a bit of 300 GSM card, and I'm going to place it on top, like so. I'm going to close it and give it a minute. So the minute would be pressing that button, and we'll see shortly how that turned out. Oh, now I've got a lot of overfoiling. I told you this foil. No, 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 no. I've got a lot of overfoiling this. But you know what? It can still be you. I know it's not right, but it's like a shabby chic background. So I can still use it for a card where you then have thank you, or I might cut a design out of it. I can still make something with it, but it's completely wrong. I think, again, it's the foil. And this one, I can still use the waste because it gives me a shabby chic background. You know, when you have text that you can't read. So I'm going to still make something out of it. You'll see when I do the video of what I'm going to do with all these pieces that I get from my testing that I do. Although I say it's only a piece of card and you can throw it away, but sometimes you get a result that's completely different. I mean, you can't read the words there. You can see there are words, but you can't really read them. So that could be something that you could use, cutting out maybe a circle or something underneath something else, and it's like a shabby chic background. We'll see when I come to use it, what I do with it. I teach a lot of digital crafting as well. And my ladies always say, I don't know, Susan, where you get the ideas from. I do come up with all sorts of things. And sometimes that is the fun about crafting. Just think outside the box, as somebody said I do. Right. Let's see. Now that came. Looks okay, but I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do is leave it there to cool down a little. I'm going to put this um, away for now because I want to try other stuff. But I'll have an idea of what works and what doesn't. And we'll see how it goes. I'm going to put that on to warm up. Then I'm going to use with this to cut later in a minute when I reveal that one. Now, what else did I have? I had this one. Oh, yes. And this one. I haven't tried this one yet. Again, look, it's still packed and sealed. Let's try this design and see what this gives us. And it's good because when I show my ladies in one of my sessions, next sessions, look what came in the post, they'll all go on the site and try to find and buy. So I would say to them, now have a look at the video first, because you can see what results you get. And if you like the design when it's foiled, then yes, go and buy it. But if you don't like the design when it's foiled, then why buy something you might not use or need? I'm going to place this onto here. Now again, I'm going to use a different type of piece of paper. Let's see what we can use. If I've got any adorable scorables in here. Yeah, you know what I have, and I don't think they foil nicely. I'm not sure. I've got a lot of what did we call these? I've got the name. Centura pearl. I've got a lot of Centura pearl. Now, I don't think I've ever tried Centura pearl with foil. I might have tried it once and it did not work perfectly. So you know what? I'm going to try using it just to see if foil will stick to my Centura pearl. I'm going to use a bit of foil that I know works well with photo paper It works well. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use a foil that is branded, and it's the lovely look. It's beautiful. Um, Go Present foil, because that should really work well. But I'm going to try it with a piece of Centura pearl. Can you see it's shiny? I don't know if it works on Centura pearl. I'm going to place it there. I'm going to close it. Now, if it works, that's brilliant because I've got loads of Centura pearl paper and they'll come out to be used with foiling. If it doesn't work, I will refoil from the back side, back plain, smooth side of Centura pearl and see how that would come out. Because I'll turn the paper, I'm not going to waste it. So let's have a look and see what happens there. While that's warming up and it takes a minute, I'm going to pull this back. Now look at that. It was the foil. Can you see how nice that now turned up? Look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. So now with that one, all I need to do, get my die, place it where it needs to be. A couple of them are a little bit overfoiled or underfoiled, but I tell you what, it did a good job of that. I like it. I'm going to just add my design to where it needs to go. I'm going to put a piece of tape, if I still got the tape here. Got another piece. Oh, it's here. This tape will last for a long while, and it doesn't seem to tear the paper. So I'm going to put it there. I'm going to place it inside my cutting die, and I'll quickly cut it after I cut this, so it will be ready. And then it will cool down while I'm cutting that. So let's try this one and see what happens with this. So remember, we're doing that nice design there. I still want to try those roses. And the other plate, I haven't done them yet. But you have to be ready. I'm not going to part it again because I don't want to over foil it. Let's have a look. Whoa, it looks like I had some result. Let's put that there. And it started coming off. Well, I got some over foiling. But look at that. So I've got some over foiling in here. Can you see it? And to be honest, I quite like that overfoiling if it was everywhere. But it did overfoil on one side or a little different places. But on the whole, look, it foils on here. What I might have to do, because this is a thick paper, is maybe when I pass it through, either do it through my other machine, which gives it a little bit more room. I've got some overfoiling there. Okay, but again, if I cut that on a small scale card, on a small card like the American size card, you know what I mean in England, C6, something like that, 5x7, put it on there, have a couple of flowers down here, maybe have a sentiment or a couple of flowers there. I can turn it into a beautiful little card saying thank you for someone. So there you go. That's been done and we know it works. Now, I'm going to cut this. This I'm going to keep, although I'm going to have a problem. Now, if it foiled correctly, that would have been so beautiful when I do the waist, okay? Because look, it would have done all that in that beautiful paper or foil design. However, I know I'm going to have underfoiled areas because it's foiled over, foiled on the other. So the heart should have been full like that, but hey ho, they're not. So I need to try again. But this is beautiful foil, and I'll probably try something with it because if I then cut and put some flowers and stuff, might still be able to get something out of it. Or cut it in a circle, cut circles with it or something. So I'm sure I'll find something nice to do with it. And that is the challenge. When everything is okay and it's perfect, it's easy to make something from it. When something goes slightly overfoiled, underfoiled, whatever, that is when you will then have a little problem. Look at that. These can be nice. I wish they were a little bit bigger, and I wish they didn't have that like E at the beginning and end. But I should have seen that when I bought it. The foil. That's the design. So let's have a look. I'm getting them all out. And you know what? They are small. I'll tell you what I fancy as well doing, and I might try it. A card, like a shaker card with all sorts of few, not many, like six or seven little different sentiments in it. They go together, and I'll see. My head is spinning. So let's put them on there, ready to make something with. But that's another one that I may be using for my little cards. These I don't throw away when it's thick card like that because you know what? I can cut it, I can make small sentiments from it. So don't throw things away. I mean, you think I'm a hoarder, but I only hoard stuff to do with crafting, and that can be used over and over again. Now, I'm going to take a bit of this foil. I'm going to do that one because it's waiting for me, and I didn't do anything with it. I'm going to change the foil. That's my unbranded foil now. I'm going to place it on top of there, like so. I'm going to bring a piece of photograph paper because I think it's even the papers will make a difference. If I go just about from there, I'm going to put it there 1 minute and we'll have a go at seeing what happens with that one. Then I've got two more plates to do. I'm not doing the front. Oh, and this one. Oh, and these flowers. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a really long video. You can stop me anywhere. You can come back and listen to the rest of you enjoy it. I know my ladies do. But of course, it depends. I want to try this. This is really a nice dye. And this is going to be quite a long video, I'm afraid, if I carry on. Unless you might prefer I'll stop it here once I finish that one, and then I'll do another video showing the rest of my things. So if I stop there, everyone, you can watch out for me using these beautiful dyes. And I might even, I'll tell you what, these dyes, I'll leave them to another video, and I might even color them in once I foil them to show you what a different experience you'll get from your dyes. That's what I'm going to do. I'll do another video, and then I'll place it on either on the same day or the following day, depends on when I finish them. I do not edit my videos because I like them to be as realistic and as true as possible. So I do not edit my videos. Please, if you do like my videos, do click the thumbs up, and if you've not yet subscribed, subscribe so you know when I do more videos for you. It encourages me to do more. So here goes. That's my foil, right? And there is a design on it. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a twirly whirly so it will cool down. Let's switch this off for a while because I'm not going to continue the video with this. Ooh, I can't move it. Ooh, that's so. I'll leave it to cool down and then I'll get it off. So this one, let's have a look. I'm gonna go in there. Ooh, whoa, look at this. Now that is beautiful. And you know what? That's gonna be even more beautiful when I foil it the waist side. When I foil the waist. Look at how beautiful that turned out. Can you see it in the sun? That is absolutely gorgeous. So, on that good note, I'm going to stop there. I will eventually, maybe tomorrow or very soon, do you a video to show you how I'm going to use these pieces into making them into turning them into a thank you card. So you'll see more of this. I hope you enjoyed your time with me. Please, please, I do appreciate it if you would leave me a thumbs up. Anybody who would love to offer me a coffee, I'd love that. So thank you. There is a coffee button up at the top. Um, I'll leave it with you. I'm using everything of my own stash so that you do not make mistakes that I might make, and you know how it works. So hopefully, I will see you soon on another video. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.